Ladies and gentlemen,
this is the Dental Up Podcast, brought to you by Keating Dental Arts, a full-service, award-winning dental laboratory. Each week, you'll learn tips and techniques from real-world dentists, bringing you in-depth interviews, motivating stories, current events, and sports.
Here is your special host, the Senior Technical Advisor for Keating Dental Arts, Brandon Fetters.
Hey everybody, Brandon here. Welcome to another episode of the Dental Up Podcast. Our guest this week is an author of the hit book, Beating All Odds, Discover Exactly How You Can Succeed in Life and Work. He is a dentist, entrepreneur, author, business coach, and speaker whose passion is making life better for people. His accomplishments have been recognized in newspapers, magazines, radio, and television in many cities throughout the United States. Currently practicing from Boise, Idaho, please welcome Dr. Taylor Clark Dds. How's it going, Dr. Clark?
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for taking your time to meet up with us. Now, at what point in your life did you decide to get into dentistry?
I was at school. I was going through college, and I thought I wanted to be a medical doctor, and I was doing my pre-med requirements. And one of my good friends in a lot of my science classes was pre-dental. And I have a lot of MD doctors in my family, but no dentists. So I really didn't know anything, had no exposure to dentistry. But one day when we were studying, my friend said, "Hey, why don't you go dental? That's where it's at." And I said, "Well, tell me why I should go dental." And he told me about the benefits of dentistry and the reason why he was going into it. And it really caught my attention. And I decided, boy, I better look into this before I get too far into medical. And I did. I started observing dentists and talking to dentists and decided came to the conclusion that I could accomplish all of my goals in helping people in healthcare and also have the lifestyle and income and the benefits that I wanted to have with the profession of dentistry. And I changed my focus, went into dentistry and haven't looked back since. It's been the best decision for me and love this profession. It's a great profession.
That's awesome. And where did you attend school?
I went to Creighton University out in Omaha, Nebraska, and graduated in the class of 2002.
Awesome. Now, did you start off as an associate, or did you purchase your own private practice?
I came right out from school, and I didn't know what I didn't know, Brandon, and I started my practice from scratch, found some space to lease that had a few rooms that had some equipment in there, and started from scratch and learned very, very quickly, Brandon, that just because I put my name on the window and had DDS behind it didn't mean patients were going to beat a path down to come in and see me.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to do the business, had to learn how to market, had to learn how to do a lot of things, and probably learned the hard way how to do a lot of things. But that's how I got into a private practice.
Yeah, in doing so, yeah, that certainly had to be a challenge. What kind of marketing strategies worked out best for you?
When you start out, you don't have the opportunity to do anything but external. So I tried everything external, and I tested, and if it worked, I would scale it. I would do it bigger and repeat it. But I'll tell you what, the most effective marketing I've learned in my 17 and a half years of being in private practice by far is focusing on internal marketing, working with your existing patients, delivering top-notch customer service and helping and harvest that relationship so they refer people just like them into the practice. That's the most effective in my opinion now.
Yeah, let your patients do the marketing for you in that sense.
Absolutely. You treat them right, you give them a reason to refer, and you reward them for referring, and you can do that transaction all day long.
So now, given this experience, is there any piece of advice that you'd give to dentists that are coming fresh out of school?
I would say one of the best things you can do, probably the number one thing you can do coming out of school, getting into dentistry, is finding a mentor and getting a mentor to help you leapfrog your way to success. You won't live long enough to make all the mistakes, make them all on your own, and to learn from those, learn from other people's mistakes, and get yourself a mentor. And even if you have to pay for a mentor, that can be some of the best money you ever invest in yourself and in your business, because you can increase your ability to succeed far, far quicker that way.
Excellent. Now, when it comes to operating a Saturday dental assisting school, why do you say that that's the best thing that you've done for your dental practice?
when I got into private practice, I came across a challenge that most dentists never even face in their practicing careers. It developed when I was in dental school in the clinic treating patients, and by my third year out of school, it became so severe. I had a severe skin sensitivity to wearing any type of healthcare glove.
Oh.
Just having contact on my hands, sweating underneath them, washing my hands so many times during the day, and working with the dental acrylates that we have in dentistry and all the other different chemicals. I just have a skin condition that my hands get irritated when I wear gloves, and I saw 5 dermatologists and specialists in the field, and I had to cut back. I was forced to find out another way to grow my income and to grow my revenue without getting out of dentistry. So it was at that point that the light bulb went off early on in my career, and I thought, you know what? I've got this physical plant. I've got this hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of top-notch technology, state of the art, and it's not making me any revenue on the weekends when I'm not there. And it was then that I decided to get a dental assisting school program put together and leverage it with my facility and get the very best assistant that I could to be the instructor. And it has been by far the best thing I've ever done in my dental business in my career. It's provided me not only an income stream that has nothing to do with operating, doing DOBs upside down underwater through a mirror on tooth 15 or tooth 2.
Uh-huh.
Income that comes in independent of me doing those procedures, and on a repeatable basis, and at the same time being a source of human capital for me. Every time I need a good dental assistant, or if I have a dental assistant that's becoming a bad apple and poisoning the barrel, I can quickly replace them with the very best student in my class. And it's like they're doing a working interview for me, paying me for it, and I get to cherry pick and take the very best students whenever I have an opening or need a good dental assistant. It's been a wonderful thing for me that's proven very, very valuable in so many ways.
Yeah, that's great. Now, when it comes to our listeners, is there a way they can see if they're in an area that is available for them to attend the school?
We license our program. I have some partners now. It grew so fast, and I had so many dentists demanding to be able to see if their area was open for operating the Assist to Succeed program in their offices that I asked my very 2 best clients to be partners with me about 13 years ago. And we've licensed over 125 offices throughout the United States to operate a dental assisting school with the Assist to Succeed program, also in Australia and New Zealand. And the way that they can find out if their area is available, we only allow 1 doctor per geographical area, 1 area of exclusivity per doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Assist to Succeed, assist2succeed.com, and click on the Open a Location tab and just enter in your office address, and we will quickly check to see if that area is available. And if it is, lights out, green light, go for it. It's one of the best things that I could ever recommend doing. If it's not, I'm sorry.
We'll see if
it's not available.
Yeah,
the area is not available, and a lot of times it's not nowadays, because there's so many areas that are available or that are taken now. But there's still a lot available still.
Excellent. Thank you so much on that. What is TOMA? Do you pronounce it TOMA like an acronym, or is it TOMA? On how every dentist can leverage it following their dental patient appointments? Yeah,
TOMA is an acronym for Top of Mind Awareness. In dentistry, we want to do everything we can to the equivalent of putting an iron cage around our best patients so they stay, they pay, and they refer. And unless we provide that top of mind awareness or create it in their minds, there's no saying that they're going to stay with us, and there's no saying they're going to remember us the next time they have a dental problem. One of the things that we like to do, every time a patient leaves our office, we have these carnations that are in a vase right at the checkout counter. Mm-hmm. And they cost us like 53 cents or something like that. We have them automatically delivered from a wholesale nursery, and they're just beautiful carnations. They're robust. They last about 10 to 14 days. They have a little vial with water at the end of them, so they're low maintenance from handing them off as far as that goes. But we have a little ribbon tied around the stem, and there's a Send a Friend card on it, reminding and letting them know about our Send a Friend program. And that's the internal marketing program that we have, that we leverage, where they refer a friend. They can either get a treatment credit or a restaurant gift card, their choice. They get a gift certificate where they get to choose one or the other. And every time somebody leaves the office, they get the flower. It's not expected. It's something that reminds them of us. They take it home. They don't throw it away. It stays alive usually for about 10 to 14 days. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they go straight to work. And when they go to work, sometimes they give it to a coworker. Oh, where'd you get that flower? Oh, yeah, I got it from my dentist. You did? Your dentist? And it just creates a top of mind awareness in their mind and helps us with our very, very best new patient strategy or new patient source. And that is referrals from existing patients.
Excellent. Now, when you have a patient that hasn't been showing up for their follow-up appointments, just has kind of been inactive, what's the best thing you can do to give them incentive to come back?
Brandon, you asked this question, all these questions you're asking. I've tried so many things in marketing and running a dental practice and building and maintaining the business of dentistry. And I can tell you a lot of things that don't work, but I'll tell you one of the best thing that I've found. In fact, this is the best thing that I've found in my career to get inactive patients to come back. We have a recare letter that we have written and tweaked and modified over the years, and you got to give them a reason to call, to pick up the phone and call. You got to give them an incentive, and put a little bit of fear of loss and scarcity in there by giving them an offer that is a limited time only offer. Mm-hmm. And we send that letter out whenever we feel like our hygiene program is waning, or the people are not coming in, or we need to get more people into the chairs. And when we send that letter out, it gets people to call, and we get them back in, and we reward them. And to your listeners that would like to have a copy of that letter, they're welcome to email me at drclark@beatingallodds.com. That's DRCLARK @beatingallodds.com, and just request my recare letter, and we'll send it out to you.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll make sure and have that on the posting underneath the podcast also. Now, speaking of which, on that, what brought you to write the book, Beating All Odds, Discover Exactly How You Can Succeed in Life and Work?
Well, Brandon, interesting you asked that question. You remember back when the economy tanked back in 2007, 2008, the Dow Jones is what, right now it's over 27,000. It dropped all the way down to 6,400. You remember that?
All too well.
All too well. People were losing their shirts, and they were going bankrupt. People were losing their houses. They were losing their jobs. Businesses were closing down. The doom and gloom, the TV, the world's coming to an end. The stock market's going to go down to zero. It's never going to come back. And it was just all negative, especially on the news and the TV and talk radio and everything like that. And I could see the fear in our patients' eyes. Mm-hmm. And I could see, and I noticed many regulars that had come in stopped coming in. And it was only emergency dentistry there for a while, only toothache dentistry. And I thought, you know what? I got a story to tell as an avid learner of personal growth and development and studier, and having read hundreds of books and articles and studied many of the New York Times best-selling authors, teachers, trainers, and motivators in the field of personal growth and business development. I thought, I've got a story to tell, and I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to set the record clear for everybody that comes into contact with me, that our future is as bright as our faith. And depending on the attitude we choose each day, we're blessed to open our eyes on a new day. We can either put on rose-colored glasses, like Zig Ziglar says, and see the problems and attract more problems to ourselves, or we can put on the rose-colored glasses and see all the opportunities and attract more opportunities to ourselves. And I wrote a 30-chapter book called Beating All Odds, and I called it my success roadmap. And I took everything I'd learned from these teachers, authors, and trainers, and I interviewed many famous people and many that you might not have even heard of, and put it into a book. And I thought it would be a hit, and it was. And it is just becoming a national bestseller with the next printing awesome. Within the next couple of months. And I'm very happy about that. But I wanted to give a copy of that book to every patient family that comes into our office, and I have since it was published in 2009. and wanted to let them know that hey, you are in control. You're the captain of your ship, and we can do, we can have anything we want in life if we will be willing to do what it takes to get there. And these principles of success that I talk about in my book, I wish I could say I invented them all, these laws of success. Mm-hmm. But Brandon, they've been around for thousands of years, and I just put them together and organized them in a way that makes sense to me, and shared them with my audience. And the book's been a hit, and I'm still living a dream, and have to pinch myself sometimes that people like Stephen Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and Brian Tracy, and James Malinchak, Chicken Soup for the Soul author. Some of these people that I very much looked up to and had as mentors have endorsed my book and supported the message in that book over the years.
That's most excellent. Now, when it comes to your readers, what would you want them to make their top priority?
Well, Brandon, when it's all said and done at the end of the day, chasing the almighty buck is not the top priority. The top priority that every reader, that everybody that I come into contact with, I recommend you make your family your top priority. At the end of the day, it's your family. It's the relationships that you have at home. Mm-hmm. That if you will put them as your top priority and focus on them and build your life and your business and your dental practice around your family, everything else will take care of itself much better if you have a strong family relationship with those that matter most.
Dr. Clark, what do you mean when you say making the most of your 86,400?
Well, there's something, Brandon, that you and me and all the listeners on this podcast today have in common, and it's the number 86,400. Every single one of us, every day, we are blessed to open our eyes on a new day. We all have 86,400 seconds in that day to work on our goals and to advance our best objectives. And if we will make every waking second of our day count as if we have a terminal illness, mm-hmm. Brandon, it's incredible the productivity and the goals that we can accomplish in a day and in a week and in a month and in a year. There's a compounding effect that takes place when we don't waste one of those precious 86,400 seconds every single day that we have. You, me, Richard Branson, Warren Buffett, all of the bajillionaires in the world, we all have the same 86,400 seconds. It's what we do with them that counts.
Most excellent. Yeah, no doubt. Now, Dr. Clark, what do you mean when you say that adversity is the greatest university?
Well, all of us, when you say a lot of your listeners to this podcast are new dentists and fourth year dental students. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes.
Well, they know by getting to that fourth year in dental school, they know that they've been beat up for 3 to 4 years. In fact, it's probably 7 to 8 years. The tests, the quizzes, the wax patterns that get crushed, and they go back and say, you can do better than that. You can do better. You can bring that D up to a C or that C up to a B or whatever. There is adversity. There's unexpected failure, challenge, trial, heartbreak that comes into all of our lives. And sometimes it comes in waves. But if we will understand, one of my mentors taught me a long time ago that every failure, every challenge, every problem, every seeming downfall, discouragement, or despair carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater success. And if we'll understand that when the doo-doo hits the fan and all heck's breaking loose and we're just frustrated with all of the problems and unexpected challenges that have come our way, that there is a seed of opportunity in that adversity. And if we will understand that and use that adversity as a stepping stone rather than something that is hurting us, we can use that adversity as stepping stones to teach us those things we need to know to get to the next level and the next level and the next level. And some of the hardest problems that I've ever gone through as a practicing dentist in the business of dentistry, I wouldn't trade them for the world. I'm glad I've had them, and I'm so glad I've learned the lessons that I've had from those adversities, because they've gotten me to where I am, and they've helped me become who I am today. And the same thing can happen to every single one of your listeners on this podcast today. Adversity is the greatest university. Don't be afraid of it. Face your fears. The fear disappears, and understand that many times the obstacle is the way.
Absolutely. That's excellent. Now, along those lines of adversity, did you find that a challenge when learning a new language while volunteering in Mexico?
Yeah, absolutely. I was a church missionary for my church for 2 years when I was 19 to ages 19 through 21, and I had to learn Spanish, and I had to learn how to speak the language, and everybody that I was surrounded with down there were native Mexicans, and it was just one of those things that I just had to put one foot in front of another every single day, do my best, plug away, and let that compounding effect of sustained effort over time take place in my life. And it helped me become fluent in Spanish, and it helps me with the difficult things that I face today. We're all going to have them as long as we're breathing.
Yeah.
We might as well get good at persevering and sticking to it.
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Clark, in your opinion, what are the 3 rules of life?
Well, I interviewed Coach Lou Holtz from Sports Center. He was with Sports Center. He's since left Sports Center. Many of your listeners may know who Lou Holtz is. Some may not.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Lou Holtz was the legendary. You know who he is, don't you, Brandon?
I know the name. I can't place exactly what he was known for though at the moment.
He was the legendary national championship coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish football team.
Oh yeah.
and he became an analyst for ESPN after his coaching days ended. And while he was an analyst at ESPN, I interviewed him for my book, and I share the story of that interview within my book. And he said that he had 3 rules of life that he would teach every single team every year, the seniors, the juniors, the sophomores, the freshmen, the 3 rules of life that he would teach them. And he taught his kids these 3 rules of life. And he actually shared these 3 rules of life with my father, who was at an event that he was speaking at many, many years ago when I was a youngster in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad shared these with me when he came back, and they are these. He says, I've just never known anybody that'll follow these 3 rules that life just doesn't turn out well for them. So I teach my football teams this every single year. Number 1, do what is right. Number 2, do your best. And number 3, treat others the way that you would want them to treat you. If you'll do those 3 things, things have a way of working themselves out for you. And I believe it.
Yeah, most certainly. That's excellent. And I got to say, I'm a little bit embarrassed that I didn't remember right off the top of my head on his history. My apologies.
And that 3rd rule, treat others, it's the golden rule that we all know. Treat others the way that you'd want them to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tony Alessandra, a New York Times bestselling author, takes it a step further, and I love the way that he frames it. He says the golden rule, he calls it the platinum rule. Instead of treating others the way that you would want to treat instead of treating others the way that you would want them to treat you, treat others the way they would want to be treated. My mission in life, with my practice, with my dental assisting school, with my speaking and coaching of dentist business, it's to make life better for people.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make life better for our patients. I want to make life better for our students. I want to make life better for my coaching clients. I just want to make life better for people. And if I focus on doing that and give them what they come to me asking for, give them what they want, and do it as quickly as I can, cheerfully, without delay, make their life better, then that is my mission accomplished. And I think every business in America should have as their mission to make life better for people.
Most certainly, just really an overall better outlook we'd all have if we all followed that example.
You bet.
Yeah, well, Dr. Clark, I really do appreciate you very much for taking your time out of your schedule with us here. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thanks so much, guys. You take care, David and Brandon, and we'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. You too. Take care, Dr. Clark. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Dental Up Podcast Show this week. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or search the Dental Up Podcast on iTunes for our weekly feed. Don't forget to visit KeatingDentalArts.com/promo for exclusive offers. Keating Dental Arts is a full-service dental laboratory, and we're nationwide. We'd love for you to send us a case so we can show you the Keating difference. If you dig what you heard, please leave a review on iTunes, and we'll be back next week.